Morning everyone, welcome back, welcome to Northumberland, my home for the next 3 days. Yeah, it's been a bit of a tricky one this morning, I won't lie. First of all, I dropped my external mic in the water and it doesn't seem to be switching back on at the moment, so hopefully a bag of rice will sort that. Second thing, the predicted high cloud that was supposed to arrive at sunrise didn't materialise, of course, because that's what happens when you're on photography trips. But yeah, it's still been a nice morning. I've come down to the ominously named black hole at Craster, and I've been shooting some of these nice sort of dark black rocks here, and it's been a bit of a tricky one because I don't know the spot, obviously, with it being the first time, and trying to get any sort of pieces to camera done and that sort of stuff around the shooting was well, it was risky basically. It was very dicey, some of the rocks were very slippy, and rather than sort of risk the equipment, I thought I'll film what I've been doing and then sort of talk you through after the fact what I shot. The shots that I was going for, the main consideration was this one black rock in the foreground as like a sort of column shape, and the main issue was getting the separation between that and the bigger rock behind it. So what I was doing was waiting for the big swells to come in, taking the shot then while the water was engulfing it, and then when the water receded, the separation wasn't there. So what I was finding was that the exposures that I was taking around about 10 to 15 seconds seemed to be working best. Now what I normally do when I'm shooting seascapes, I like to show a bit more motion in the water, and the sort of sweet spot for that is round about a second to a tenth of a second. But there was so much water here this morning that those shutter speeds weren't working, so the longer exposures seemed to be better. They were all shot with the 6-stop filter. I was using the 14 to 30 wide angle lens, and even though the light's a little bit harsh in some of them, I think compositionally they work, and it's again going to be one of those where I come back to it maybe this week or maybe in future. But it's been good this morning just to familiarise myself with a location I've not been to before, figuring out what works and what doesn't, and still get a couple of half reasonable shots, I think. Okay, so I've just come round the corner from the black hole. What a name that is, the black hole. I'm at Cullernose Point, and also the sort of Howick Scar area, looking towards the bathhouse. And I'm just having a little bit of an explore. The light is way too harsh now for doing any shooting, really. I was saying before about you've got quite a small window to shoot in at this time of year. What you really don't want on these trips is wall-to-wall blue sky. If you get a bit of cloud cover through the middle of the day, you can keep shooting through the day. But at the moment, with wall-to-wall blue sky, it really sort of limits your options as to what you can do. So I think what I'm going to do for the next sort of hour and a half or so is just have a little explore around here, see what I can find with a view to coming back here later on at sunset, hopefully with a bit more cloud, and hopefully we'll get something half decent. What I should say is I was at Spittal Beach last night. I did actually get here about 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon, and I wanted to just have a little bit of a leg stretch and do a little bit of photography without the sort of pressure of filming, if you like, and really enjoyed myself. I mean, it's a fantastic little spot that you go there predominantly to shoot the rock formations and the patterns. It's not really a spot you go to shoot the sort of big wide vista, but I really enjoyed it. I mean, I'm really getting into my sort of abstract close-up photography. I know it's not for everyone, and a lot of people watching this channel probably want to see the big vista stuff, but I find it absolutely fascinating. I really wish I could do more of it on the west coast in Cumbria, but we don't really have that many interesting beaches, to be honest. But over here there's loads of it, so I think in future I'm definitely going to be back over here to do more of that type of photography. I'll put some of those images on the screen here. Hopefully you find them quite interesting, and yeah, I'll check in with you a bit later on, hopefully with a bit more cloud, and we'll get something half decent for sunset. Welcome back, everyone. Just have to be a little bit careful walking on these rocks. It's a little bit dicey. Yeah, out for sunset. I'm down at Howick Bathing House. I do apologise if the audio's a little iffy. I'm trusting the onboard mic here to do its job, although with being close to the sea it's obviously a little bit loud. I've had the wireless mic in a bag of rice this afternoon and it's not responding so far, so fingers crossed it'll sort itself out, but I'm not holding out much hope. I was having a look online there. £100 for a replacement for one of those. Robbery. Absolute robbery. Anyway, on to this evening. Looking at conditions, they're a little bit better than I had this morning. We have got a little bit of cloud cover now, which is really helping here. My hope is that I can get some nice side light hitting the side of the bathing house just before sunset, and hopefully this cloud hangs around. The tide at the minute is going out. I think high tide was about an hour ago, and we've got about an hour and a half till sunset, so I don't know what the water levels are going to be like. It'd be nice if I can get a bit of sort of wave action in the shot, but we'll just have to see. I'm going to have a little scout around here because I've got plenty of time. As I say, I'm a good hour and a half till sunset, so yeah, going to have a little explore and see what I can find. Right, I'll just come out of the noise a little bit and just sort of talk you through what I'm looking at here. I'm having a little bit of a problem here because obviously the bathing house is the sort of main subject and that's where I want to draw your eye to, but the problem I'm having at the minute is because the tide is still quite high, the area that I want to get to, which is in the sort of lower left of the frame, it's at the minute it's just covered up by whitewash, so it's going to be a bit 50-50 as to whether I can get down there in time before, you know, we lose the light. Of course the cloud has buggered off because that's what it does today, but what can you do? You just got to work with what you're given. But hopefully this water recedes enough that I can get down into the area and find a nice sort of rock formation to work with as the foreground. It's definitely a wide angle shot. There's no real sort of telephoto angle here to be had, otherwise I'd have already spotted it. But lots of interesting shapes and stuff to work with here. It's just a little bit frustrating that the ones I'm seeing at the minute are right in front of me, and because they line up squarely with obviously the bathing house, that's not going to work compositionally because everything's going to be down the middle of the picture. So yeah, I'm just going to have to wait it out a little bit and be a bit patient. I'm going to grab a quick drink and just have a little relax here. Wonderful evening again. I mean, far too good for photography probably, but yeah, what can you do? Okay, I've been working hard here, really working hard. When you're doing this kind of photography, especially with the ultra wide lens and you're getting really close to the foreground, you've really got to do a lot of crouching down and a lot of squatting, so legs are starting to feel it a little bit. I've spent a good hour there working this scene. I can't get down to the area I wanted to. The water isn't receding quick enough, so you've just got to kind of work with what you've got. The sky has been, you know, as expected, bland. The cloud has completely disappeared, so I haven't got that to fall back on either. But that's just the way it goes sometimes. I have got a shot lined up here that I think might work quite well. What I'm trying to do, rather than fight the conditions, is because we've got this really blank sky, I'm trying to fill most of the frame so the sky isn't really part of the equation. I've got the polarizer on. I'm just using this rock pool as a nice sort of foreground subject, and the polarizer is really helping to cut through the glare and really bring out those nice greens underneath in the algae. I've got a second shot lined up. I'm not sure if I'm going to take that one yet. The main one I want to get is this one before the light goes and we lose that nice light on the bathing house. It's going to be a focus stack because I'm very close to the foreground here. Three shot focus stack, f11. I've got the 6 stop on, and I'm just trying to sort of smooth out a little bit of the water without turning it to, you know, a milky froth. I still like to see a little bit of movement in it, but we'll have to see how these go. It's been a lovely afternoon down here, probably too nice for photography again, but you know, what can you do? I'm not sure where I'm going to go for sunrise tomorrow, but that'll be in the second part of these 2 vlogs from Northumberland. Keep liking and subscribing. I hope you've enjoyed this one and hope you've enjoyed the images. It's a little bit different from the Lake District, but I do like to mix it up now and again when we're not in the middle of pandemics. Yeah, look after yourselves. Don't forget to enter my competition that's in the newsletter. Closes at the end of next month. Loads of time, win an A2 frame print, and yeah, I'll see you on the next one.